Hi, this is Pin Chu, Ripple Maker TV. I'm so glad to have a friend here, David, to join us. And David, may I put this way that you are the godsend angel to Taiwan.
Right.
And to empower young people to start their own business or become entrepreneur. And before we jump to that, I would like to introduce to all the viewers here that you are a serial entrepreneur. You founded a few high-tech Silicon Valley companies. And but before we jump into that, what do you think about the entrepreneurism in Taiwan so far?
Well, it looks like Taiwan is very entrepreneurial, actually. I think from from my limited experience here, I think it has always been entrepreneurial. I think people have always wanted to do their own thing.
Yes.
Now, the size of what they do doesn't really matter, I think. I think what matters is that they do what they love and that it has a positive impact on other people.
That's right.
So I think it's an amazing place to be an entrepreneur here.
It's great. So what are you going to do about this since you are here now? And what do you think we should do?
Well, I think it would be very arrogant for me to say what we should do or should not do. I think it's an amazing country. I'm really honored to be here. I feel like a guest here. And I'm not trying to impose whatever views that I may have from my past experiences. I'm not trying to change anything. I'm trying to see what is possible for people to do here with what is available locally. We can inspire some people to do things that have been done in other countries. So maybe we can inspire some people to do some of the things that have been done in other countries, but at the same time, I think Taiwanese people are very innovative and very resourceful. They do a lot of things with whatever is available here and now. And I think that's one of the traits of an entrepreneur. So I'm really honored to be here, and I'm hoping that together we can basically innovate and see what we can change in a positive way with what is available here.
It's good. Well, that's definitely the reason I invite you to the Ripple Maker TV as our first guest here. Because I noticed that you are not just a brilliant guy with all kinds of innovative thinking, but you are also a doer. So what you've been doing lately now? Just share with us what you...
You mean besides enjoying the good food and...
Yes, and something I don't want to get into yet.
Well, I moved to Taiwan without any idea of what I was going to do here. I moved here because I love the people here. I was very fortunate. I traveled around the world. I went to a lot of countries, and of all the countries that I visited, I picked Taiwan. And of course, I had very, very limited information and knowledge about Taiwan until I came here. And I came here, I guess when you don't really know what you should do, you try to help other people with whatever you can. So I started to meet some entrepreneurs here, and there are so many of them, and so many brilliant ones. So I tried to see, okay, what can I do to help? And is there anything I can help them with? Maybe not, I'm not sure. So I would meet entrepreneurs over coffee, and I would try to see what they're doing and try to see if I can do something with them, if I can help them in any way, on the business side or on the technical side. And I ended up meeting so many of them every single day. I would meet 4, 5, 6 different entrepreneurs every day, and I just couldn't have the time to do anything else. So I thought, okay, well, I love to do this. That's what I love to do. So maybe I should go for this. Maybe a little bit further. So I started a group of entrepreneurs where instead of just me trying to help them one-on-one or one, two, and three, then we would do a group discussion. And there are different reasons for that. I mean, one is obviously I don't have all the answers. I have my limited experience and knowledge. And also, I think it's important for people to meet other people who are doing something a little bit similar. I think it's, being an entrepreneur is just a job like any other job, and I think it takes one to know one. So I started to gather a bunch of entrepreneurs in a room around a big conference table, and the idea is that for 4 hours we have those people expressing their current challenges. What is it that they are dealing with right now that is difficult, or what is it that they want to achieve? So challenges and objectives. And each person around the table has a chance to express their question. And then everyone else around the table will try to help that person. And then we go to the next person, and so on. So by the end of the 4 or 5 hours sometimes, everyone around the table got helped by everyone else. So it's like a self-support group, if you will, where instead of just me trying to help other people, they help each other. And I'm here just to, to try to lead the conversations, because sometimes conversations can drift away and we talk about totally different things from the initial question. So I'm here to kind of bring them back. But we're very open to discussing pretty much anything. So it's not a brainstorming session. It's not about trying to come up with new ideas, new business ideas or new product ideas. It's not that. It's really solving problems or finding solutions to future problems. And so I started that several months ago. I called it the Founder Squad. So a squad is basically a little army.
Yeah, special force
team, the SWAT team, that you call at the last resort. Okay, it's not the people that you go to at first. It's the people you go to at last. It's when everything else has failed. That's the guys that you call. That's right. So that's what we try to do. We try to address only the most challenging questions. So we say, well, if you can search it, if you can ask your grandmother, we're not going to address it, because why would we do this? We're not going to help very much with that. So we typically address questions that require the experience of other people. So typically situations that have incomplete information, incomplete data. You don't have enough data to make a decision, so what do? So you bring other people who are also creating and building their own business, and basically they are probably a lot better, in a better position to tell you that maybe you should do this, maybe you should not do that. So quite often what happens is somebody would ask a question and someone else in the room would say, well, I had this situation before, I have been through that before, and I'm the first guy who would admit my mistakes publicly, and probably we're gonna have a lot of chances to do that right now.
I'm trying to figure out.
I made so many of them. I made all the mistakes in the book, and I'm still making new ones. Sometimes either I or someone else would say, well, I have been through this situation before. I did this, and it did not work. But then later I did that, and that worked. So I'm not here to tell people what they should do. I'm here to make them discover by themselves what they think they should do with the information that we give them.
Oh, David, without the impinging on the confidentiality of your member, could you give us a real case, a real dialogue, a real question and back and forth in this Founder Squad session?
Yes, there are so many. I would say some questions come back often. I think those are really brilliant people.
Definitely.
And they have a few qualities in common. I think one quality is courage. I mean, they have the courage to quit their comfort zone and start their own business. Some of them have started years ago, like you. Others are just starting out, recently. And for almost all of them, they often ask the question, how do I find a business partner? How do I find a co-founder? Or should I do it all by myself? So, you start a business, and if you have the capital and the resources to do it by yourself, then maybe you can do that, and then you can hire some people to work with you. If you do not have those resources, you better find partners. It's very hard to find a partner. It's like finding a wife. It's really difficult, and because this whole trust thing, and it's something that you build over time. So quite often, people ask, I'm doing this, and I have this idea of this product, and but maybe I can make the product, but I don't know how to sell it. Or I have an idea of a product, I think I can sell it, but I don't know how to make it. So depending on where you are, you need different people, different talents, complementary talents. So that comes up pretty often. But the questions are really, they are all over the map. I mean, they can be about financing, can be about recruiting, about business development, partnering with other companies, hiring, firing sometimes. They can be about, they can be very technical. Sometimes they are very general. So it goes all over the map. And but we do try to go to the root of the questions every time. So somebody would ask a question and would say, well, I have this problem here, and I'm not sure what to do. I think I know what to do, but I'm not quite sure. What do you guys think? And the question is up here, and then either me or someone else would say, well, do you actually mean this thing or this thing? Yeah. So we kind of dig deeper and deeper until we hopefully find the root of the question, because quite often the initial question was just a consequence of a cause that is much deeper. So we try to go as deep as we can until we hit the rock, and then we go after that question only. And if we can solve that question, then everything above it will be solved, and probably many other things that we didn't see before. So we spend the time to do that. I'm very bad at keeping track of time. I don't have a watch. I don't want one. And that's really bad because we always go over time. I mean, it's supposed to be 4 hours, and it's
6 hours.
It's sometimes 5 or 6 hours. But because we take the time to get to the root and try to solve those problems, and then we can go to the next person. So basically, at the end of the meeting, everyone has gotten something, not only for themselves, but even if you are just there to sit without even speaking, without even asking any questions, just by sitting there, you learn so much. Not only the ideas that people have, but also things that you probably should not do in business, because you see the guy across the table, he's in deep trouble because he did something, and you're like, well, maybe I better not do that next time, because I'm going to go through that also. So it's like some people told me it's like an MBA on steroids. It's a super MBA because it's real. It's not about studying like why did this large company 50 years ago become successful, whatever. It's not about case studies. It's about here and now. Those businesses are running right now, and they have all those challenges right now. So how do we deal with those challenges?
How many sessions you have been doing this so far? How many people can go through this?
I don't look at the time. I don't count. I'm not sure. Probably 30 or something like that. 30 sessions, and there's about 200 people now.
Wow.
So around the table we can fit only 20 people. So we have to do a lot of meetings.
I see. So a lot of repeater people come back often with another set of critical questions they want to ask.
Yeah, and so other people come, only once in a while because they're busy.
I think one of the reasons I'm really interested in getting the most out of you in this small session here is I want the people in Taiwan, especially young and aspiring entrepreneur, know that they're not alone. That's very important. They deal with the questioning everybody's been dealing with, but they need a safe and trust environment, and with the people like you to facilitate and to coach the direction, or for this session to be very fruitful. It's not just an exercise. It's something that can be done, can make a decision and resolve. So if there's people out there, they are interested in joining you, how they should do about it? Is there any information they can log in and find out?
So every member is screened. This is not a finger food networking event where anyone can go.
That's right.
And the reason for that is because we want to keep a certain level of quality. Now, how do you define quality? Because these are people, so it's very difficult to quantify this. From my point of view, what I'm looking at is really the integrity of people and the intentions of people. So we really don't care about the size of the companies. We don't care about the industries they work in. We don't care about any of that. All we care about is the intentions. So why do they do what they do? So sometimes we have companies that come and they want to build something and it's very subjective. But I believe that these are not products or services that I think are really meaningful for society at large. So probably we cannot really help them. But for most people, they have, I think, very good intentions. And so what they do, so there's a website. You can go to Squad.
SQUAD.
Yeah, Squad.tw.
Okay. Squad.tw.
Okay. And you will see several types of squads. So we started with the founder squad. But now, because just as I said before, one of the big questions is, how do I find a partner, a business partner? How do I find somebody who has complementary talents to work with me? So many people have this question. So you had the founder squad initially, and now you have also the designer squad and the programmer squad. We call that coder squad. We have the writer squad and a few other squads. And we might add more squads. It's very scalable.
That's right.
Right. So what happens is that you have the same formats for the other professions. So we had a designer squad. So around the table, only designers. Nobody else is admitted. And you have a leader also who basically goes around the table and tries to help those people with their questions. And we do the same with programmers and so on. So each squad is it's restricted to one profession. And so that keeps things really focused. So you're not going to have lawyers in a programmer squad, for example. It's really important because you want people to feel comfortable, to feel, as you said, to feel safe, to feel at home, so they can express pretty much whatever they want without the fear of being judged by people who may not understand and appreciate why they do what they do. So you have those squads and those little armies of very talented people. And what we are going to do now, occasionally, in addition to those squad meetings, we're going to have a super squad meeting with all the squads together in a much bigger room for people to meet. And hopefully, you will have people who have been selected based on their intentions more than anything else. Those people will meet with other people who do different things, but they have the same core intentions, the same fundamentals. So hopefully some of them will click. And so you might have an entrepreneur who meets a designer, and the designer might meet a programmer. And those three people might say, wow, they really get along, the personality is there. and they have a similar mindset, and they might meet there, and they might start to work on some small projects at first to get to know each other. And I think one of the good ways to build trust and get to know people is to do things together, right. And especially to help each other. So that's what happens already in each squad. So if we talk only about the founder squad as an example, a lot of people, if not all, probably almost all of the people, become very good friends, and they help each other outside of the meetings. And I'm very happy about that. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, that's right. So they come to the meetings, they help each other with like really tough questions, but then outside, we have drinks, and we have, and we meet, and we, do all kinds of things. And some of them partner up. So they might sell things to each other, they might introduce people to other people, they will help each other in one way or another. So over time, those people get to know each other really well. So hopefully some of them will, do bigger and bigger things together, maybe even start companies together. So the super squad, whatever we call that, inter-squad meetups are going to bring all those people, all those screened people in one room with the intention for complementary talents to meet and hopefully to work together.
That's great. So you do require a screening process, right? Once they log on the squad.tw, right. They have all the information there. That's how to be qualified, how to being screened and being invited to join you. Okay, great. And I heard that you have another thing called a boot up.
Actually,
what's that about?
Actually, boot up is what I just described. It's going to be this. Boot up was an idea that came out following the observation that a lot of founders need complementary talent. So I came up with an idea of bringing different kinds of people in an environment for them to help each other. And that's actually what we're going to do with the super squad meetup. So it's the same thing. Yeah.
Well, I think you really created a total different platform for all those people with complementary skill that meet and very organically they're going to find a way to create things together and solve their own problem together. So I think that's it's great achievement that you made. And I'm totally for this. I think that's the future, part of the future, to help young people or anyone with courage to do something, to make a difference. So David, I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
Within just almost less than a year.
You are my mentor.
No. We are on this bus together. That's for sure. And I'm so happy that we have people like you from different culture, from different perspective, and point out to people here, say, hey guys, you have everything you need already. The spirit, the courage, the taking risks, that's in our culture, part of in our culture. But you need somehow to a little bit more organized, of course, and focused, and see big pictures. To grow, to fight each other, try to cut a corner each other. So I think that's the true spirit of a sharing economy. Maybe we have a chance we can talk about that next time. Yeah, it's great. This is Ping Chu from Ripple Maker TV. Again, I'm here with one of my best friends, hopefully, for a long time, David Dupouy. And David, this session, I would like to ask you, I know you have a special definition about happiness. So could you elaborate on that? I think it's a very unique way to interpret happiness.
Well, we can quote other people. We can quote Gandhi, who said,
be the change.
Yeah, and happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do is in harmony. But that's what Gandhi said, so that's not, I think we can be inspired by that. I think it's when you have found your mission, when you know what you are supposed to do in this life, and you actually do it. Perhaps we can talk about a few years ago. I was living in America, and in 2008, there was this big financial crash, and I saw around me a lot of friends who would lose their jobs and they would become sad and depressed, and it was breaking my heart to see all these people around me in that state. And so I was thinking with some friends, what can we do about this? Because you can reassure people, and but that doesn't really solve their problems. So one thing I did was to start a non-profit organization that would help people to evaluate where they are in their life and try to redirect, if necessary, their path. So that would be preferably for people who just lost their jobs or are kind of in a difficult place. And so one idea was to simplify the way you look at your life. And a very simplistic image of your life would be with 3 circles. So one circle is your passions. Another circle is your skills. And the last circle is the demand, the market, what a society needs. And when you have those 3 circles intersect in the middle of those 3 circles, that's probably where you are in a good place. That's probably one way to, on the way to happiness. And when you look at it this way, it's a very simplistic view, but when you look at it this way, you see that a lot of people have only those 2 of those circles intersect. So passion, skills, and demand. So let's say you have passion and skills, but there's no demand. So that might be an artist who is very good at what she does, but nobody wants what she creates. That's one situation. Another combination is you may have passion and there's a demand for it, but you don't have the skills for that. So in that case, maybe you should go back to school and learn whatever it is that you enjoy. And then the last combination is, what is it? It's skills and demand, but no passion. That's most people. They have a job, but they don't really love it. They do it because they have to, not because they want to. So depending on where you are, then we can guide people about what maybe they should do. So you saw all these people losing their jobs, and a lot of them said, well, I should go back to school. And in 2 years from now, magically, the economy will recover and I will get a job. And I would have more skills and I would be more prepared. And that makes sense sometimes. So depending on those circles, you know if it makes sense or not. For other people, actually, other people were about to lose their jobs. They saw their coworkers losing their jobs and say, well, maybe I'm next, so what am I going to do? And for them, they also decided, we helped them to decide on their own whether they should go back to school or they should find a job that is much more connected with what they love to do. So somebody may have lost their job and send 1 million resumes everywhere, spam many companies with their resumes and get 0 answer. Why? Because it's not targeted. So instead we said, and so we were sitting down, just like the Founders Squad, very much like that, around a big table. You have all these people. We asked them, okay, where are you now? What's your situation right now? How can we help? And so depending on where they were, we would tell them, okay, maybe if you want to find another job, maybe you should focus. You should eliminate everything except only what you are really, really good at and what you really, really like to do. Okay? And many people find jobs very quickly because of that, because they freed up so much time to do what is actually working. And for those who had talents and skills, talents and passion, but they were, they were not making a living out of it. So like the artist kind of type. It's not only this type, but we saw a lot of artists. Then we kind of show them a little bit how to monetize their work. How to present themselves so that they could, have a presence and have a fan base. And all those efforts that are necessary for someone to spread their art. So with this very simplistic view of the world, with only 3 little circles, we actually helped a lot of people decide what's next for them. So I think at the end of the day, what it means is that, to answer your initial question, I think part of happiness is really the being fortunate enough to know your mission, to know what you are supposed to do here, and to actually do it and make a living out of it, so you don't have to worry about anything else.
Well, that's a very, as you said, very not only simplistic but very practical way. It's not just be happy and you'll be not. Actually, it's a lot of self-discovery and to face the reality, not try to escape from it, but like what you said, that one service demand. Someone is willing to pay for the service, is willing to pay for the product. That's very important. But I remember you say somewhere that to serve others with your unique gift is very important. But can you tell us, how do you find your unique gift then? What's the best way, that based on your experience with all those entrepreneurs, how do they find their unique gift?
Yeah, that's always a very good question, and I think it's. I don't think there's a one particular answer. I think it's as you said, it's a very personal journey. It's a lot of experimentation. One question that one may ask themselves is, if money was not an issue, if you did not have to work for money, what would you do?
That's a good question.
What would you do with your life? It's not about, let's say, the question is a little bit different from, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? Then, you might say, well, I will give it away, I will do charity work, and it's great. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying, if, let's say, you had an automatic salary that comes every month from somewhere, and that is enough for you to live comfortably. Maybe you can save a little bit, but it covers your expenses, so you don't have to worry about that. And let's say you have this guarantee for life, as an example. If you had that, what would you do with your life? And I think that trying to ponder that question will help a lot to figure out what your gifts are, because usually when you love to do something, you're pretty good at it. And again, if you are not good enough at it, you can learn it, and at least you know that you love it. I think it comes from love first. You love this, then you learn it, not the other way around. I think school has, in my opinion, education has this obligation to tell their students, or to show their students, what their gifts are. And I'm not sure school is doing this anywhere in the world.
Destroy that sometimes.
So school is typically, it's horizontal education. They try to teach a little bit of everything.
So commoditize everything also.
And hopefully, you will find something that you like. But a lot of students, they don't really like. They're good at something, and they go for it. But it doesn't mean that they like it. I think they might be good at math, and then they're going to become a researcher or something. But do they actually like it? I know a lot of researchers. They do a lot of things on the side. They do what they really love on the side, and that's it's a little bit sad, because you spend so much time at work. You might as well do something that you love. So I think it also takes a certain amount of self, discipline and also courage at some point in your life. If you realize that you've been doing something for years just to make a living, but you actually don't love it, it takes courage to, take some distance and stop for a minute and say, wow, what am I doing here? Should I continue to do this? Maybe not. And some people do that, and I really admire those people who have the courage to do that. But then after, if they can do this, after, I think they will be a lot happier.
Well, it's a life journey to really find what you're really passionate about. But the question you just posed is really good a way to pull you back to reality, to really think about what you're really, really passionate about. If the money is no object here. The more I talk to you, and the more I think you have a bigger responsibility to create that demand for those people that can meet that demand. See, that's a big, big job. You almost single-handedly try to create a new way of make a living and make a life. In other words, so what would you really want to do after this founder squad and inspire so many people? They are on the right track if they are willing to reach out. They are willing to show their vulnerability, and they're willing to listen, to ask for help. So what you really want to do in the next year, per se, next 12 months?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing what I love right now, and I'll keep doing it, for as long as I love it. And if someday I don't love it anymore, I will replace myself. I will find other people to continue to run it, and I will do something else. I'm doing a bunch of other things at the same time. I work on a bunch of projects. This is, for me, this is actually taking me a lot of time because I want to take the time to screen those people because I want to kind of a little bit protect the people who are already in it. We talked about tribes, and one way to create a tribe is to build a wall around it. So you have insiders and outsiders. And outsiders are necessary to have insiders. So the wall that is built around it is not about being arrogant or pretentious and say, hey, you have to be part of the club. Well, it's not that at all. It's really because the criteria has nothing to do, again, with the size of the companies or the money they make or anything like that. It's not material at all. It's a very personal, I think, feeling. I mean, I can feel a little bit people, and I'm not the only one now who screens the people, but I still do it because I insist on doing that. So it's kind of my job, essentially, right now, and I have no idea what I'm going to do next year. And I'm not even questioning that because, just like I said, I came to Taiwan without knowing what I was going to do. But I started to help some people, and I enjoyed that. So I only try to scale it up to make it to run it as a business, because that's how you can be. It has to be sustainable. It has to be scalable. So you have all the people who can join and work on it. So I have people working with me right now, who knows where this will go.
Well, David, I think. As you know, nobody knows what would be the next, but you're on the right track, and I think the opportunity will find you. That's for sure, because you are ready and be there. I'm so happy to see you here, and share your wisdom with us. And this is Pin Chu from Ripple Maker TV channel, and be the change. Thank you.